If you do that, I'll think about it when you're doing the video and I really laugh.
Okay, you gotta be quiet now. Oh, hey. So, this is Jim Hastings from Ranchhouse Art Studio. This week, we had a really fun week. There was no classes, and Ian was not around, but I did have a friend of mine from Kansas City come into town who works for Hallmark. We met about 25 years ago when he was graduating from art school and I was just starting art school. We also both kind of just got married or had been pretty newly married. And so we had a lot of things in common and became friends. Over the years, we've kind of kept up that friendship, and I've really enjoyed spending time around Ken and getting his different sort of perspective on art making. There's a lot of things that he does differently than I do. There's a lot of things that we really love about art making that's very similar. And so when we come together, that's kind of our favorite thing to talk about. And this time to do, we painted each other's portraits and videoed ourselves painting each other. We also painted his wife, and the videos that follow this are going to show you what we did. Hopefully you enjoy. Hi, I'm Jim, and this is my friend Ken Sheldon. Ken's visiting for the week, and so we thought it would be fun to do portraits of each other. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to do kind of a reaction. So we haven't seen each other's portraits yet. I painted Ken, and then he painted me. So first off, we're going to take a look at my portrait of Ken. Okay, so you can go ahead and flip the portrait around.
Man, I love it.
Yeah.
There's that spot I was telling you about.
In the
You got it.
In the forehead.
Right there.
Yeah.
It's right there, that
Right.
wrinkle that won't go away, even though I plucked the eyebrow out.
So initially, is it what you kind of expected of the image, or is it a little bit different?
Well, so there's a drawing behind on the table, and I love that drawing so much. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna look like. And it's like, no, you look like you.
Yeah.
And
So it's definitely a little different.
it's
right?
different than what I expected, but that's what I like about it, because it's just, you're in this continuum of work, steadily. You've got this momentum that's just kind of always moving, and so I love when I look at your artwork, seeing where you are at any one time, because I don't know, it's reflective of, because you can do anything, but there's a certain emotional reflectivity that
I appreciate that.
I love it.
Yeah, no, thanks. And one thing when I was working on it is I kind of felt like I kept thinking it needs to be more angular. You know, like I started out and it was a little too round, and so I kept kind of like trying to bring it in, you know, that kind of thing. And so when we were talking during the picture, I thought, you know, I think I would start out with more the shape of your head and then work into the features of your face. If I were to do it again, like that would be my first approach, as opposed to working on the features and then working out from that. Because I usually like start in the middle of a picture and then I kind of work my way out.
Right.
And I think it works probably most of the time. And I think it actually works fine in this one. I just as I'm thinking about like, well, how else would I do it? You know, how would I do it differently? I'd probably start maybe on the outside and work in, which is not like normal for me, but anyways, kind of fun. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at my picture that Ken did. I have not seen it yet, so here we go. Go ahead and turn it around. Oh, wow. That is awesome. Golly. Like, I love all of the really heavy black marks in there, you know? and it's and it's great. Like I have this kind of smile going in it that it's awesome. And it's not like that immediate smile. Like you can see kind of my face smiling, I think, and my eyes smiling, which is great. Oh, that's so cool.
That really like just that reaction, because I asked you, you know, what are you sensing as we're kind of working on this, and I told you about a story where I have a friend at work who, when I stand up at my workstation, and I'm puzzling through something, there's a really intense look on my face, and so I wondered if I had that because I was kind of laboring through this in a particular way, and what you're describing as being bold, I was thinking, to your point earlier about like maybe I would do this, maybe I would do that. Like one of the things that I really love about your portrait of me is that it goes off the page. Like my head goes off the page, and for various reasons, I kind of contained you, and that would have been a fun thing to not do, to like not contain you. But so anyway, that's kind of neither here nor there. But charging in, I sort of overcharged. I got the medium sometimes is so exciting to work with. You kind of just you get in there and it's kind of like, okay, I've already made too many heavy marks that I cannot now back away from.
Right. Yeah.
So I sort of spent like most of my time trying to save this, and so I'm really happy that twinkle in the eye and the smile comes out. Like I've drawn Jim more often from memory, and so when I come back, I'll draw him from memory, and then I'll come down to Dallas and see him, and I just always think, how can I not remember what my best friend looks like? I mean, but there's something, you just can't access that image in my head. I can remember it, but I can't draw it. And so. No.
Well, and what's cool is that I really love so I'm gonna move over here and show you something on the picture. So if you want to move the camera this way, but like I love this line that defines like the edge of my cheek, and I have a feeling that you had it out here first and then you moved it in. Is that right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Because I know you were laboring on the cheek for a little bit, going like, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing to it?"
And once I had done that, it was kind of like, ah.
Yeah, but it's great because what you do is that like you have this line and you follow it up into this part of my face and then up into my forehead, and it's the fact that you save the white through here, so you get like this, your eye or your mind kind of draws a line between those spaces, as opposed to, like at first you kind of look at it and then you're like, oh yeah, I see that line kind of going from the edge of the beard or just that mark, kind of up through this space, and it's great. It's just economy of line, when you kind of go in there and you're like, I don't need to put every mark possible, whereas like I'm working on yours, sometimes I'm like, I'm constantly like putting down tons of marks, and I don't know, sometimes maybe it's working and then other times I'm not sure, but no, that's awesome.
Well, and I do this, I've noticed. So I taught somebody a couple of years ago, and we were talking about eyes, and this friend of mine was just laughing repeatedly about how I kept struggling with the eyes, and the eyes in the right proportions. And because I tend to view the world through an emotional lens, maybe that's why my eyes are always why it's always a wrestle. Like the eyes in proportion to that head are, I think they're the right emotional size. Like looking at Jim, you kind of get drawn into these very perceptive, keenly aware eyes that they have a little bit of a twinkle, like something's going on, like this guy maybe has all the answers. He knows.
If only.
He can kind of read my mind a little bit, and so that's why I was asking that question, like, Jim, what are you sensing when I'm like, what am I emoting from or to you as I'm kind of working on this, and
Yeah.
so I just kept going to those eyes, just trying to capture that
No, it's so
that
great.
quality about them that you know the eyes are just so critically important.
Yeah. No, it's so great. Well, what a fun project. I had a great time.
So great.
Great time painting you. Always. You got a great face. Very interesting features. So this was my second attempt at painting Ken. He looks a little more tired because it was late at night when we painted this. And I probably should have videotaped this one, as you got a whole lot of my back in the first one. My apologies. This is Ken's second attempt at painting me. I think that every time you paint somebody, you learn a little bit more about how they look and what you'd like to do in representing them. I think that was true for both of our pictures.